In this world, calamity will stop by unannounced. In this world, tragedy will appear at the wrong time. In this world, you may be down more times than you're up. In this world, you can do everything right and you'll still get it wrong. But do you have the courage to believe that in this world, you will have tribulation, but you can still be of good cheer? For we follow one who has overcome the world. But Nicodemus shows us that we must at least have enough courage to find out about Jesus for ourselves.
Come on.
You can come to church. You can hear the sermons. You can come to Bible study. You can get a deeper understanding of the text. But at the end of the day, none of that may matter, because at the end of the day, you got to do what Billie Holiday says. Mama may have. Papa may have. God bless the child. Just got it going.
Amen.
In other words, it's only when you know Jesus for yourself.
Come on
when you
now.
are having the faith and courage to say, whatever my life, be it good, bad, or indifferent, be it up or down, be it in paradise or in the midst of a storm, be it smooth sailing on the rough side of the mountain, whatever in my life, God has taught me to say, it is well. It is well. It is well with my soul.
Come on now, preach.
And that requires courage.
Yeah.
Okay, second lesson. First, Nicodemus had courage. The second thing that Nicodemus teaches us is Nicodemus was persistent. It's not enough to have courage. Your faith must also possess a persistent component. Notice, if you will, Jesus gives Nicodemus a response. Nicodemus asks in verse 4, how can that be? Jesus gives a deeper response. And Nicodemus again in verse 9 says, how can these things be? When you are toiling with things you don't understand, when the only answer to your question is because, it may require that, like Nicodemus, you persist in asking God the question. You don't give up. That does not mean we keep asking God why. See, first, the why question assumes that God is a God of cause and effect. See, when you read the book of Job, that's what Job's boys got it wrong. You know, old Job, you did something. You wouldn't be in this situation if you didn't do something. See, this kind of thinking makes God nothing more than a cosmic being kind of predetermining our outcomes based on whether or not we've been good or bad. Sounds a whole lot like Santa Claus to me. That's why we ask these useless questions. Why did 9/11 happen? Why did tsunami happen? Why did God let Hurricane Katrina happen? Why did God let this happen? Why did God let that happen? And the fact is, beyond the obvious, we don't fully understand. We don't know why stuff happens sometimes. Sometimes it's, I don't know. While the why question is understandable, it's not the question we should be asking, because it can lead to potential frustration and confusion.
Amen.
Nicodemus asks, how can these things be? Because it goes against so much of what I've been taught. Perhaps we would be better served by asking, what does this mean for me? And where do I go from here?
Come on.
But those are questions that not only require courage, they also require persistence. So we may need to ask persistently, because the answer may be too big for us to grasp at one time. The depth of the pain that we're wrestling with may also demand the bulk of time before we can engage in moving forward. See, our faith must be persistent as the God's love is for us. It is a faith that God has so loved the world that God gave His only Son. It is a faith that reminds us that God did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved. All right, lesson number 3. Nicodemus went to Jesus at night. Verse 2 says, Nicodemus came to Jesus by night. If you don't leave here with anything else, remember that. Nicodemus came to Jesus at night.
Come on now.
Now, we can embrace that literally, but I think there's something more important in that statement. Now, by night, I do not mean the period of darkness that occurs between sunset and sunrise. I'm referring to those times when darkness has covered the abyss of your soul.
Ooh, now.
In the midst of your uncertainty, your pain, your problems, your setbacks, your failures, your mishaps, you need to be able, like Nicodemus, to go to Jesus at night. Because it is at night when your soul is troubled. It is at night when your heart aches. It is at night when agony and disappointment are the only ones that understand how you're feeling. It is at night when you bear the same old burdens, harboring the same old regret. See, the mental image of Nicodemus going to Jesus at night is powerful indeed. Not wanting to be seen, taking back alleys, constantly looking over his shoulder to see if anyone was following, knowing the risks involved that he's discovering, but realizing he may be taking a bigger risk if he doesn't go. Picking up the pace, going over in his mind the questions that he wants answered, worrying about whether or not he should turn back. And that is not what happens to us at night. We've been trying to hold on, trying to appear we've got it all together, knowing that if we go to Jesus, it will take some courage and some faith that we're not sure we still have. But what will get you to the Nicodemus moment is when you realize for yourself that you can't press on by asking the Lord why me. It is realizing that even if you understand the why me question, you would still be stuck if you did not have the courage to trust in God to help you move forward. It's when we realize for ourselves that you can't continue to carry that weight on your back that you've been carrying for so long, you've forgotten how long. It's only when we do like Nicodemus by going to Jesus at night and throwing our head back saying, I must tell Jesus all of my trials. I cannot bear these burdens alone. See, that's why Paul says, brothers and sisters, I count not myself to have apprehended. That means I'm nowhere near where I need to be. It means I ain't made it there yet. It means I still got some learning to do, some living to do, some praying to do. But this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward for those things which are to come. I press, which means I have some courage. I press, which means I'm persistent. I press, which means I'm willing to go to Jesus at night. I press toward the mark of the high calling of God, which is in Christ Jesus. But when you get to go to Jesus at night, we find a new hope, a new joy, a new peace. It is at night when we discover that they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. It is at night when you discover, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. It is at night when you find out